Well, writing a book is like a black box, right? People want to write a book, they know how to find an agent, publisher. It's hard to, there's no menu to do this. How do you find your agent and your publisher? Could you share a little bit of that journey? And when you do that, did you encounter any discriminations about, oh, you're Chinese, we don't need another Chinese book,
Absolutely. So I knew nothing about the publishing industry. I had revered books my whole life. I taught myself English on library books. They were holy to my mind. And the thought that I might be able to create one of my own just, to me, seemed impossible and almost blasphemous that I could create something so holy. So when I finished the book, I was really in shock. I was more surprised than anyone. And then I realized I didn't know what to do at all. And I was terrified at the idea of sending it out into the world. But I had to. I actually took the week after I finished the first draft to start sending it out to agent, because I knew if I let it sit, I would lose my nerve. I would tell myself the same thing you said. My story is not worth telling. Who am I to put this book out in the world? Who am I to be talking to people and publishing? So I Googled literary agent and I just emailed my manuscript out.
How many did you email to?
Oh, in the span of 2 weeks, I probably emailed like 60 to 100 people. There were people who responded saying, I don't do adult books. I don't know where you got my information. I really was new and super green. I knew one person who was Hillary Frey. She was at Huffington Post, and she put me in touch with my amazing agent Adriana, who's actually over there. And we met, and I met a few other agents who did get back to me through the slush pile, really. And ultimately, I just felt like I had to go with my gut and go with the person who got my vision and understood my story and understood how I wanted to present the story, which is both of an immigrant and an Asian American, but also of an American child. And from there, it was very fortunate. But yes, in the process, I was shocked by some of the business response emails that I got. Agents responded to me saying, we already have an Asian American author, so we don't need another one. Also, do you know her? Is she your sister? And I'm like, if she were my sister, do you think I would be cold emailing you? Like, don't you think I would have mentioned that? And then my agent Adriana, on submission to publishing houses, also got similar responses. And I'm just shocked that you would put anything like that in a business email, and maybe that's just me as a lawyer, like I'm always thinking about being sued, but it's just silly to put it in writing, even if you're thinking that, right? Like, don't let that go through your fingers onto the keyboard and into the email, delete it. But it shows how pervasively white the industry is, and I just love, I didn't respond this way, but when I got that email, I thought, would you ever say that to a white author? How silly would that sound? We already have a white author. We don't need another one. If every agency had one white author, that would be great for the rest of us, but it's unfortunately not how it works. So it was a rude awakening. Like when I was stepping out of the legal industry, I thought I'm set. What could be more backwards than the legal industry? I'm not saying the publishing industry is more backwards, but the systemic barriers definitely translate across fields, and that was a rude awakening for me.
So now you get a great, amazing agent. How do you find the publisher through the agent, right? Just interview all of them?
So Adriana went and sent my book out to 20-some editors. It happened very quickly, and actually Doubleday was the first one to get back to us. We actually sent it out the week of the George Floyd murder, and it was just pandemic. It was a chaotic period. And the book was the last thing I was thinking of, because, there were protests, there was a lot going on that was kind of forefront of the mind. And so within days, Doubleday got back to us and said, we love this book and we want to preempt it, which means give you an offer that takes it off the table for the other publishers. And when I spoke to who would be my editor, as well as the publisher, the editor-in-chief of Doubleday, again, I saw that they saw the vision and the storytelling behind Beautiful Country. And I think it's so easy for a lot of people in the industry to cabin stories of people of color and stories of immigrants as just trauma. And that's not really what I try to do. The the use of the child's voice, I hoped would illuminate some of the beauty and moments of levity and laughter that my parents really try to inject into a difficult time. And they saw that and they understood that it was at once about immigration, but also about coming of age and about just childhood, just being a kid wandering around, trying to figure out your place in the world. And they got all of that. So upon talking to them, I was pretty sold, and I have not regretted my decision. It's been a wonderful place to publish. They also publish Colson Whitehead and a bunch of people way bigger than me. So it's just an honor also to be there.